what's up guys, it's Lego Hobo 910 here with another Lego video. And in this video, I am reviewing set number 76088, the Thor Ragnarok Thor vs. Hulk Arena Clash. Now let's get right into the review. So in order to review this whole thing, I'm just going to open it up. And I guess I'll start with this side since it seems to want to be shown first. But I'll just stretch this out and then review all the different functions. But this here, the wall blows up. It's just a very simple mechanism with a little lever there. You just flick and then it knocks everything up. I wish it would have maybe launched the pieces in a bit more and also been a bit more dramatic, but I guess it works. And then on this next section over here, we can just open this up and there's some weapons in there. Now if we take out the weapons, it is a gunmetal gray axe, a gunmetal gray spear, and a gunmetal gray sword. I'm just going to close that up. And as you can see, you can just easily slide them into these slots here. Though I think that it's a bit too long, since they kind of touch the ground, I wish maybe this would have been a bit higher up. But then these two sections here, they are identical, so I'll just show this one. Basically, the idea is that falls over. It's just a nice destruction feature. But what you're supposed to do is use the super jumper, which I'm not going to use because, in case you don't know, they scratch minifig legs and dent them and stuff, and don't want to do that. Even though they're very specific about, like, when you take them off, you're supposed to bend them all the way forward and then just pull up. It still scrapes them, and I wish that they would either scrap the super jumpers or redo them. But basically, you take the super jumper and try to jump it. It jumps much better when it has the minifig on it. To hit these down. To knock down the light post. You do need to hit it with a bit of force though, because or else it won't fall. Yeah. And then on the back side of those, nothing real special. Now over to the last wall section here. I'm just going to move that out of the way here. This one has a nice little chair where you can set Loki. And once again, using the super jumper, you're supposed to knock the chair over, launching Loki out. Fairly big sticker there as well as on the lights. And I also like the way that they used angled pieces to get these lines. It's very cool. There are some slight gaps, but it's an interesting technique. Then if we flip it around to the other side, you can see the chair a bit better. You can also see this little containment unit, which basically the idea there is once you get Thor captured, you put him in there until the battle. Keeps him contained. And yes, that's two stickers. I wish it would have been a print there because putting stickers on that was obnoxious. When you're putting stickers on transparent pieces, they tend to leave little bubbles and warps. Now moving on to the main section, the main attraction, I guess you could say, of this set. The big gateway. First there's this throne up here where you're supposed to set collector. Once again, use the super jumper. And if you hit it with a bit more force than that, it launches collector, the throne tips over. I mean, Grandmaster, not collector. And then there's some nice detailing there with these lights that are posable, like the lights. And then the doors that open up. And those just open up using these little handles there. I'll show you that a bit better from the back. From the back, it doesn't look nearly as good with these big panels. You just grab these, and you can slide the doors individually. And as you can see, it won't move forward anymore than it's supposed to. Some nice beams here. Overall, this area is a bit bland from the back. I wish they would have maybe extended the platform, maybe included something else, because from the back, it just doesn't look nearly as good. Feels like there's something missing and there should be more there. And then also, these are different sections which you can take apart. They're just clipped on, as you can see. And then you can just rearrange them. And also, if you, like I said previously, if you get another one of these sets, you can build a full arena. I'm going to show you a different configuration that you can do. So here's just another different configuration, but there are many more possibilities and many different ways you could do it. Here is our first minifig, who in fact isn't even a minifig. It is Gladiator Hulk, which is just amazing, and probably the reason most people will be buying this set is to get him. It's just a normal Big Fig style here, except he has this gladiator helmet on, and then this blue shoulder pad as well as the leather arm piece there, which has a few tiny little spikes there. They also included some straps along the chest there, as well as some white paint and a bit of face paint there. Just has a nice angry Hulk-like expression. Here are his two weapons, which are a bit of a pain in the butt to get out of his hands. Here's the first one, which is this big club. Has a bunch of nice little metal kind of stud spike looking things. Like the way that looks. Then it's just built on an antenna, which you can grab onto. Then a silver stud on the bottom. And then here is the axe, which uses an axe blade for one side, and this big spike piece for the other side. Once again, it's built on an antenna with a silver stud on the bottom. Now we have Gladiator Thor, who has these two silver katanas. I wish they would have included the club and shield that you see in the trailers. Has the two silver katanas, which can then just go into the back piece here. You can just put two of them in there. Also has a nice little arm shoulder pad there attached to that. But on the front, very detailed. I like the way that it looks kind of like the classic Thor look, except slightly different with that strap going across and the red paint. And then if you look very closely on his leg, there's a bit of blue, like a blue knee pad. Then on this arm, there's also a bit of armor. We can take off his helmet here, which is really cool. Love the way that looks. You can see his face there. This one's a kind of passive face. Then here is where he has lightning coming from his eyes and is like freaking out and mad, which looks really cool, but I'm pretty sure he won't have this going on in this scene if you've seen the trailers and have paid much attention to what's going on with Thor Ragnarok. So now with the shoulder plate and katana holder missing, you can see the back printing, which is just fairly simple. Just a few silver lines, which I'm fairly fine with because it's going to be covered by that most of the time anyway. And now we have Loki, who has a very subtle printing on the torso and no printing on the legs. Might be kind of hard to see. So there's just a few black lines there, and then the purple kind of blends in, the light blue blends in a bit, with then just a bit of gold printing. He uses the fairly standard Loki helmet, which is made out of rubber. So as you can see, it can be squished, and these can be bent without snapping. And there's his face, which has just a nice smile, kind of devious Loki smile. Then on the other one, he's sweating and looks very frightened. He has the newer cloth-type cape, the yellow one. So I can just fold that up without worrying about it getting crinkled. And then the printing on the back here is very similar to the printing on the front. Just kind of finishes off the belt and the purple and light blue and golds and such that should be wrapping around. Next up, we have Grandmaster, and he's not nearly as good as I was expecting. My biggest complaint is his hairpiece. I like the color they used, except the piece isn't correct. It's just too smooth. If you see in the trailers, it's like really spiky. Like the bedhead hairpiece would work perfectly, which they've used in multiple minifigs before. Not sure if it's in gray, but they could easily remold it in gray. And then also on his face there's just a few blue markings, like under the mouth and under the eyes there. I think they could have made them a bit more distinct and maybe a darker blue, because they're kind of hard to see. And then also the torso printing is a bit more simplistic than I was thinking it was going to be. Though I like the fact that they printed gold on gold there for some very subtle markings, which are kind of hard to see. Then he has the blue shirt there with one blue arm and all the red detailing. I also wish they would have maybe done some printing on the legs. Back is even more simple, though once again the gold on gold printing is nice. And if we take off the hair, you can see the other one, which is just kind of a wicked smile. And this one, it's even more devious and kind of an angry smile, I guess you could say. And finally, we have a Sicarian guard. He is fairly simple. There's no printing on the legs or the arms or anything, though the printing on the torso is very detailed. Like how there's a bit of the shiny silver, so when the light hits it, it shines a bit. And then a lighter purple on the darker purple there. He just has a simple black staff. And then his face kind of reminds me of the Krang from Ninja Turtles, with the pink eyes and purple and silver detailing. Then on the back, it's very similar. Very subtle on the back of the head there, just a purple spot with a bit of silver. It doesn't show up as well on camera as it does in real life, though, which is a bit of a disappointment, so you can't really see it. Overall, I really liked the set. A few of the minifigs were a bit of a letdown, such as the Grandmaster. And also, I forgot to mention, but Loki has this extra black hair piece, so you can switch out the headgear. I feel that all the play features focus too much on the super jumper as well. Wish they would have been more just not super jumper-ish, and you could have features that didn't involve the super jumper. Really, the only one is the exploding wall and the opening weapons rack here. But then the rest of the features involve the super jumper, which I don't like because super jumpers are just annoying. They scratch the legs, aren't good. Also, I feel they could have included a bit more detail up in the Grandmaster's box. But overall, really cool set. That's all, and peace.